Hello, how's it going? How is it going, folks? Let me know. I want to know. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, hello, my name is Haley and welcome to the Faithful Fairy fam. So good to have you here. Thank you for clicking on this video. As you guys can tell by the title, this video is going to be about how to reprogram the subconscious mind. And I'm really excited about it because this is personally something that I've been working on for a couple of months now. And, it is changing my life completely. Because as you may or may not know, our subconscious thoughts, beliefs, feelings, all create our reality, what we attract, who we attract, everything like that. So it's important for us to be in touch with our subconscious. And before we get into this, I'm going to give you guys a little background on what the subconscious is and how it reveals itself to us, how we can recognize it and start to acknowledge it and work with it, love it, because it is us. It is our true selves. It is what we truly believe, what we truly feel, and so that manifests in how we think. It manifests in what we dream about. It manifests in the people that we attract into our lives, and so on and so forth. So let us begin talking about how to reprogram the subconscious. So first step is going to be recognizing the subconscious, acknowledging the subconscious. If we're not in touch with our subconscious, then it's, we can't really reprogram it, you know what I mean? So a way to start recognizing subconscious feelings, beliefs, is by listening to your thoughts. So number one is actually going to be listen to your thoughts. For me personally, when I started realizing that I had overactive thoughts, sabotaging thoughts, the first thing I wanted to do was just quiet them down, completely turn the volume off, and I didn't want to hear them because they were just constantly bombarding me with so much stuff. And you see, what this does is it temporarily quiets the thoughts down, but it doesn't actually heal them. It doesn't actually make them go away. It suppresses them, so it builds up, and they will continue to reveal themselves to you through your thoughts, your dreams, etc. So step number one is to acknowledge your thoughts, listen to them, love your thoughts. Your thoughts are here for you, even if they are negative thoughts, even if they are sabotaging thoughts. Our mind is revealing these thoughts to us so that we can acknowledge them and work through them. Without those thoughts, how would we know what our subconscious really feels, what we really believe? So it's important for us to recognize that. And so here's what we can do. Here's what I personally did, and I'm still doing to this day. If your thoughts are running wild, you have so many sabotaging thoughts coming in and such, a great thing to do is start writing it down, writing your thoughts down. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Just write it all down. And this is really great because it allows us to actually see what's going on inside of us, inside of our head, our subconscious. We can literally see it. So this just makes it 1,000 times easier, because a lot of the times when we have overactive thoughts, there's so many that we don't even know what we're thinking anymore, and all of that stuff. We're not paying attention to them because there's just so many, and we're constantly trying to shut them off rather than listen to them. So writing them down, write them down, And you could just write them down to write them down. You can write them down to make a poem, a book, a song. There's so much that you can do with this. Make it fun if you want, you know? It doesn't have to be so serious and, you know, anything like that. This is a healing process. There's no pressure. There's no time limit that says you need to do this by this time. Like, no, you go at your own pace. So once you start to acknowledge your thoughts, you then start to create new neural pathways for what you want to be thinking instead, what you want to be believing instead. Or in other words, reprogramming those thoughts. So another way to start acknowledging and creating a new way of thinking and feeling is to communicate, voice yourself, speak out. Going through this healing process is not always easy. We're facing wounds, we're facing a way of thinking that developed from some type of hurt, some type of rejection, some type of outcome that didn't turn out the way we were longing it to turn out. And so this is something difficult. We don't have to go through things alone. One thing that has majorly helped me is to voice these things out. If I'm thinking a certain way and I know that it's not true, it's just a subconscious thought, I will let others know. I'll let them know, like it could be a friend, it could be your parents, it could be your dog. Just vocalizing it is really good for us, because what I've found is that by vocalizing, we are showing our subconscious, our true selves, that we believe what we're saying, that what we're feeling and thinking is valid. When we keep to ourselves, we tend to stay in our head, and what that does is make us think that we're wrong. What we're feeling and thinking is not, like, we cannot share that. It's not, people won't be able to relate, understand, and this just causes more buildup. So start vocalizing those old ways when you're struggling, So let's talk about an example. I'm getting a little personal here. That's okay. That's what we're here for. So one example for me would be, when I started to FaceTime, my partner in crime, my other half, a lot of subconscious fear and doubt was coming up, because in past relationships, in the past, getting on the phone, talking to someone was a scary thing for me, because I guess I was always subconsciously worrying about, not knowing what to say and stuff like that, or being wrong, being invalidated. And so because of all of that happened in the past, it started to reveal itself in this connection. And so I had to vocalize this to him. I had to let him know, it intimidates me to get on FaceTime a little bit. It initially kind of scares me. I feel nervous. And that's okay. By doing that, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. But I'm showing myself that I know it's just a subconscious subconscious thought, a subconscious feeling coming up from the past. And so I heal this by voicing this out, and by voicing it out, I'm able to receive the reciprocality that I need, which would be the support, the comfort that I need to hear. Don't worry, everything is okay. You can be comfortable, you can be you. There's no need to know what to say, or no need to fear. Just be in the moment. And so by doing this, I was able to start reprogramming my subconscious to feel comfortable with just FaceTiming, with just talking. You know what I mean? So vocalize. Just be honest. Don't be ashamed, embarrassed. Don't try to hide things. Just be open and honest about how you're feeling. So, the second step is to ask yourself where these thoughts, beliefs are rooting from. Where did they come from? Why are you thinking and feeling this instead of this? We are not our thoughts and beliefs. We are not our thoughts and beliefs. And the proof is in the way that, we're born pure. It's not like we're born with self-doubt and with sabotaging thoughts and all of this stuff. All of this comes from somewhere. It starts somewhere. So, like I said, step number 2 is to get to the roots. Ask yourself where this may have come from. So, let's talk about some examples. The power just went out. Just a minute. All right, you guys, we are back in business. We're back in business. The power's back on. I don't know what exactly happened, but it just went off for a couple of minutes everywhere in my area. There's supposed to be like a storm coming in. Anyways, back to examples. So let's talk. What in the world? So confused. I don't know what the hell is going on. What? Oh, looks like some type of parade. What? Whose birthday is it? These cars all say happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday? I want to go. Oh my god, these cars just keep passing by and passing by. Maybe that's the last one. Maybe. Nope. 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 They're still coming. They're still coming. Wow. Whoever's birthday it is, or however you word that, they're pretty special. I mean, that's a lot of cars. It looks like a parade, like seriously. I do not know what is happening right now. It's so weird. They just keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. Yeah, and all these people have presents and balloons and like all of this stuff. What the hell? Okay, I'm looking back and I don't see anything. I don't see anymore. Can I continue now? I think I can continue now. Alright. Alright, so the example I thought of to getting to the roots of those thoughts, those beliefs, is this. So, let's do it. The other day, I was in Killeen with my family, and I ended up smoking some weed, some greenery. Some beautiful flowers, and well, afterwards we went out and laid down on the trampoline. We were looking at the stars and stuff, and I hadn't smoked in a while, so I started to feel it, I started to feel it pretty intense. And as I was looking up at the stars, it started to look like the sky was not far away from me anymore. It started to feel like as if I was looking at a ceiling painted as a sky. Like, it felt so close to me. And just the feeling I started to felt, I associated it with a bad trip, because one of the very first times that I smoked weed, I had a bad trip. And there's a certain feeling that you get. And I associated this with a bad trip. But in reality, that's just what being high feels like. Like, when you get really high, that's just what it feels like. It's not a bad trip. But since that very first time, or, I don't know if it was my very first time, but one of the first times that I smoked and I had that bad trip, that was the feeling that I felt. And so every time I've smoked and start to feel that feeling, I automatically associate it to, like, I'm tripping out, I'm having a bad trip. And so, this time I started to feel that, and initially started to feel like, okay, I'm gonna have a bad trip, like, shit, it's gonna be a bad trip. But no, I was able to pull myself out of it. I was able to hear those thoughts saying, you're gonna have a bad trip, this is a bad trip, this doesn't feel good. I was able to acknowledge it and, just talk to myself. I was able to be like, look, you smoked weed. What do you expect? This is what it feels like to be high. I think because I have epilepsy, or had epilepsy, because I'm healing it, one of my biggest fears is just that it'll turn into a seizure, and so I automatically will start to go into this panic mode. This time I was able to remain calm. It looked trippy, but I wasn't freaking out, having a panic attack or anything like that. Like, I was able to just be. And so that is the example I'm giving to you guys. Our thoughts, beliefs have all the power over our reality. I could have had a bad trip and potentially even had a seizure if I didn't acknowledge those thoughts and realize that those thoughts were coming from, my initial very first bad experience. And so I was able to acknowledge that and move past it. It sounds like the cars are coming back, no joke. But I'm gonna just close my window. Alright, if you hear some noise, just know it's those cars passing by. But anyways, so when we listen and acknowledge our thoughts, we can start to ask ourselves where they came from. Why did that come about? Why am I, whatever it may be. For me, it was that. I hope that was a clear, helpful example. And so number 2, get to the roots, get to the bottom of it. And in that situation, I was able to see instant results. But if it's something else, number 3 is have patience. Be patient with yourself. And this goes hand in hand with what I was just saying. You can see instant results by getting to the roots of those thoughts. But if it's a feeling, a subconscious feeling, have patience with yourself. Know that this is a way that you've been feeling for a certain amount of time, and it's not going to happen with the snap of your fingers. It's not going to happen overnight. So give yourself time. Know that it's a process, but every day is up and up. As soon as you acknowledge, as soon as you become aware of your subconscious, every day is just going to be up and up, because there's no going back. There's no going back. Over here, it's only forward. So don't put pressure on yourself. This is very important, because I'm a victim of this. I was very hard on myself on trying to change these thoughts. I didn't want to think that way, didn't want to feel that way. I just wanted to change it. And it's when we're so attached to that outcome that it becomes more difficult. If we can detach ourselves from any certain outcome and just trust that we are where we need to be and that what's meant to happen is going to happen, we'll start to see the results and it'll feel a lot better. Número 4. Number 4, you guys. So number 4, another way to start acknowledging your subconscious, getting more in touch with it, is by paying attention to your dreams. Our dreams reveal to us so much. They reveal so much to us when we're open to it. A lot of times our dreams will reveal to us things that we're still holding on to, fears that we're still holding on to, beliefs that we're still holding on to, anything along those lines. You get the idea. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an example so you can see how I do this and how it has had an impact on me. So let's just talk about one of the recent dreams I've had. Not too long ago, I was having quite a few dreams that were involving going to parties and people drinking alcohol around me. And when they would drink alcohol and get drunk, they would reach this point of they didn't even seem drunk. It was beyond drunk. It seemed like I was surrounded by zombies. These dreams that I was having were more like nightmares to me, because I felt like I was completely alone. Everyone I was surrounded with was they were just zombie-like people. They were not there. They were somewhere else. And so these dreams just kept on repeating. And what I received from that, what I learned from that, is that, several things. Number 1 is that there's a lot of people in my life, even close to me, that, don't have my best interest at heart. They're just concerned about themselves. They're in their own world. And so a message I was getting was stop wasting your time on these people and start putting yourself first. This was a major message that I was receiving from this. And number 2 was also revealing a subconscious fear that I was having. Most of the times that I've had a seizure, it has happened at nighttime. It's dark outside, the energy is just very quiet, everyone's asleep, the sun's not out. It's a different energy when the sun's out during the day and when it's nighttime. What I received from these dreams is, all of these dreams were occurring at nighttime. It would be between 12 and after, it was late at night. And all of these bad things were happening late at night. So it was revealing to me this fear that I had of, nighttime, that certain time. And so I was able to work with this and, acknowledge that is a subconscious fear that I have, nighttime, fearing that things are more likely to happen at that time and stuff like that. So by paying attention to these dreams, my subconscious was showing me quite a lot, and I was able to work through this. And realize that it was just a subconscious fear. That feeling of feeling weird at night or kind of scared came from, having those seizures. So I associated that time of night to a weird time of night, a weird feeling. I couldn't be alone at that time. I needed people to be around me or whatever, otherwise it would feel quiet, and I associated that quietness with being scared or feeling weird. So after being able to acknowledge that, I've been able to grow from it every day. And like number 3, have patience. I didn't expect for myself to get over this in one night. I've had epilepsy for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 years. Had epilepsy for 5 years. So I didn't expect for that to go away in one night as badly as I wanted it to. I was able to detach myself from that outcome, and I just had trust that, I acknowledge it now, and I'm going to work with myself. I know that it's just a subconscious fear. It's not me. It's not real. So, it's valid. I feel that way for a reason. And that's another thing I want to mention, don't see these thoughts and feelings as invalid. They are all valid. You're feeling a certain way for a reason. You're thinking certain ways for a reason. So give yourself compassion for that, Give yourself compassion, and that's a great way to move through it, by having that compassion and not trying to, hate on yourself for it or anything like that. So, número 4, pay attention to your dreams, analyze them if that's something that you are interested in. And it doesn't mean make yourself crazy on analyzing all of your dreams. No, but it's just be aware that your dreams carry messages. Your subconscious is trying to communicate with you. So what is your subconscious trying to tell you? Alright? And number 5, I don't know, I think this is going to be the last one. Number 5 is step into the uncomfortable. Try new things, okay? Try new things. Feeling uncomfortable to try something new is a subconscious belief. If you tell yourself, no, I don't want to do that, that's not for me, you're closing yourself off to new opportunities. To create new neural pathways, new ways of being, feeling, and thinking, we have to step into the uncomfortable. So let's talk about one example. A couple of weeks back, an old friend from elementary school reached out to me. He moved away to another city a long time ago, and we hadn't been in contact, but he reached out and told me that he was going to be coming down to Laredo, and he asked me if I wanted to hang out. And so, my initial feeling that I get from that is a nervousness, intimidation, kind of no, it's gonna be awkward, I don't want to do that, I'm gonna blow it off. That is the initial feeling, and the initial feeling is the subconscious feeling. But instead of giving into that, I said, no, I don't know for a fact that it's going to be awkward. I don't know anything for a fact. The only way to, grow from this is to not avoid and to step into the uncomfortable. So what did I do? I said yes. I was excited about it, to be able to hang out with someone other than the normal people I would normally hang out with. And what came out of this? What came out of this was I had a great time. I had such a great time. I came home feeling so great. But had I not stepped out of my comfort zone and let that thought prevent me from going, I wouldn't have got to experience that. And therefore I would not have gotten to the roots of that subconscious feeling. So if I ever got invited again by someone I didn't really know too well, or that I wasn't really completely comfortable with, then I would have done the same thing, said no, avoided it. But since I faced the uncomfortable, I did not let that prevent me. Again, I was able to grow from it. So now if I do get invited places, I'm not gonna doubt for a second. I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm being invited for a reason. It's a divine appointment. I'm going. I'm not gonna think about the awkwardness. I'm not gonna think about the things that could go wrong. The trick is don't think. Just do. Just do. And we already talked about acknowledging our thoughts. So the initial thought of me feeling like it's gonna be uncomfortable and awkward obviously rooted from past situations as well. So I was able to look back at that and realize, like, okay, that comes from the past. It doesn't resonate with me now. It can, but I choose not to. I choose to create a new reality for myself. Create a new reality for yourself. Try new things. Step out of your comfort zone. Otherwise, how are you going to create new neural pathways, new ways of being? Right? Alright, I'm in my PJs right now. I'm ready to end this video. I know that was 5 ways to start acknowledging and reprogramming the subconscious. That's just what I have right now. But surely, as I was saying in the beginning, this is something that I'm going through every day, working through it. And I know that we never stop learning, we never stop growing, so I'm sure that I'll be making more videos about this. I really enjoyed making this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. I hope that you were able to take something from this, learn from this, and I hope that this resonates and that you use these tips and tricks I only hope that you guys incorporate whichever things that resonated with you in this video into your life so that you can start acknowledging your thoughts, your subconscious, and begin to reprogram it. It's so important because when we don't, we're just living our life based off of what we've been taught since birth, and what we've taken on based off of what we've seen from people around us, what we've seen in movies, listened to in music, and so on and so forth. Our subconscious picks up everything. So it's so important for us to be aware of our subconscious. And yeah, so I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything you'd like to say, feel free to comment down below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos that I'm definitely going to be uploading. And yeah, you guys have a beautiful day whenever you are watching this, and I'm sending so much love and gratitude your way. Have a beautiful day. Peace, and I will see you in the next one.